Hello, everyone. Roger Connect, President of Universal Accounting Center, and I'm again here with Michelle Arsenault with Value Builder with the intent of actually walking through and looking at the intricacies of the portal that we use to actually manage these leads and contacts that we're generating and the clients that we're working with. So, Michelle, thank you for taking this time to actually giving us this kind of tour of all these different tools and resources available to us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I think it's important to kind of see, give a little bit of keys to the kingdom before they get access themselves. So I'm happy to do a little walkthrough and show all that you get access to.
Very good. We're going to consider this a tease then.
Yes, the carrot that we're going to dangle in front of
That's
them.
right.
So all right, well, perfect. I'll jump right in if that's okay.
Please.
All right. Hopefully you guys can see my screen here, and the main page. Whenever you log into the portal, it's always going to take you to the dashboard page, which is in many ways, it's kind of a snapshot or a picture of what else is going on in your portal. So it's going to have some, events and webinars that we're going to be hosting. Your most active contacts are going to be in this page. It's always going to show you your top 10 nurture cycle emails, which is our automated marketing, new questionnaires that have been completed, and active value builder engagements that you have currently running, and a little snapshot into what they're doing as well, like what module they're on, when it was activated, last login, etc. So you can find out all of this information in other spots in the portal, but we just wanted to kind of bring it all to the forefront. So when you first log in, you have a quick look, and then you can go from there if you want more detail. So that's the dashboard tab at the top. Next, I'm going to take us to the events tab, which is where we're going to show you any live events that we have upcoming. So this is for like any live training, our summit, which is our conference that we do every single year, which hopefully some of you will come and hang out with us for a couple of days and meet lots of your fellow advisors and lots of learning sessions. So it's jam-packed full of fun and food and fantastic information. So live events are posted here at the top, and any upcoming webinars are right here. Then if you click on the next tab down, which is webinars, you can see both upcoming and past ones, which are very, very important, as Roger can attest to, because we record every webinar that we do with an existing advisor and any of the learning webinars too. So these are important for learning all the best practices and what tips and tricks the other advisors are sharing in what they do. So even though they might be coming from all kinds of different types of advisory, brokers, lawyers, accountants, etc., there is so much information to be gleaned from what they're already doing, and it's very transferable to any type of practice. So those are very important, and we've been recording those forever, so there's a nice catalog there for you. And as part of our training together, if there's something specific that you want to do in your own practice, always let me know, because instead of sifting through hundreds of webinars, I usually know off the top of my head which ones are the most relevant to what you're looking to do. So keep me informed of all your plans. Next, we're going to go to the Learning Center, which was right next to the Events tab. So here, just as it sounds, it's got some learning tabs in here. So the top one is case studies. So here you're going to be able, again, to learn best practices of other advisors, and we've actually put them to paper. So some of them are more advisor-facing, so for yourself. There are a few in here that are actually business owner-facing as well, like this Max Mahmoudi case study, which is all about how Max had increased the value of his business and what that meant for his practice and all of that. So lots of information in here. Again, we've cataloged them all for you to be able to use. Under learning resources, we have some step-by-steps on how to present an assessment, how to present an engagement, how to sell one, how to position it, all of that good stuff, which, in the beginning, at least, when you're trying to figure things out, it's nice to kind of use what has worked for other people. Also, we have what may seem a little strange. We have a marketing tab in here, and this is where we house all of our white papers. So these white papers can be utilized to give yourself some, some learning, some information. And there's also ones that can be used, like this one way down at the bottom, which is very popular, the subscription economy white paper, which a lot of advisors use as a free piece to kind of, again, dangle a carrot in front of their business owner to give them some information. But in return for that information, they want their contact information, and then that typically leads to them doing a questionnaire, et cetera, et cetera. So kind of getting folks into your funnel, if you will. So these white papers are great for that, and I can attest to their usability because we used it ourselves as we were a startup company and really growing and not really having the resources and the staff at that time to create our own marketing and all of that. So these were very instrumental, and we still use some of them today on our Built to Sell website, which is mostly for John Warlow's information. Hosting workshops, another piece that's really important, are doing workshops, webinars, special presentations, really putting yourself out there as being knowledgeable in the space. So of course we have provided you with some presentations, which I'll get to under the marketing assets, but we also wanted to give you some tips and tricks on how to host a workshop, who to invite, who to target, just basically all around best practices, whether to charge for them, whether to give them for free, etc. And that's all under the hosting workshop tab. And then lastly here, we have our Solubility Tracker, which we also refer to as our research paper. And it's all of the ones that we've done over the years. And we go chronologically backwards from the most recent to the latest, the last one. And in here, we combine all of the data that we take in from the questionnaires, which is all blind data, so no worries about any private information being out there. It's all the little boxes that they tick and little boxes that they fill out. So no information about the business owners other than their industry and the age of business owners, but no company names or business owner names or anything like that. That's all covered under your privacy policy, and we don't have access to that. But all the data that we take in is very important, because even though we started off back in, almost 7 years ago with a subset of data, over those 7 years, it really has been growing and changing and has turned into its own data monster. And we're well over 47,000 business owners have completed those questionnaires at this time. So a lot of data in there. So we try to break it down and compare it year over year and kind of narrow it down to location, because we have advisors outside of North America now, in the UK, Australia, South Africa, etc. So age of business owners vary. When they're looking to sell varies, the multiples for those industries, all kinds of different information that is being pulled from those questionnaires, and we compare it all. And then we really highlight any industry trends that we notice or any other sort of trends, or things to watch out for or things to incorporate. So that can be very helpful for you as a business owner and also for your business owners. The next tab that I wanted to connect on is the marketing assets tab, which is really jam-packed full, all of the marketing that you'll really need. The first one being presentation templates. And the reason why we've broken them down into time frames is because a lot of the advisors that do come to us, sometimes they're asked to do like a 30-minute presentation, or maybe they want to do a whole workday. So instead of sifting through presentations, they can just choose on the time frame that they want to utilize. But all of these are available. They're all made for you to use in however form that you want. Of course, brandable, editable. If you want to take slides from one presentation and mash it into another presentation, you have carte blanche to be able to do all of that. And really make it your own presentation, or you can use it as is, and they certainly have been proven to work as is. They're probably, presentations are the number one conversion, have the number one conversion rate of anything that you do, and that's just based on getting those in front of those folks and getting them on the presentation high and getting them to those questionnaires. You're going to get a lot more completing them. So there's a bunch of presentations in here. Articles, another big piece and very popular with the advisors. Again, we've cataloged every article that John Warlow has ever written, all the way back to December 2011. Most months there's at least one brand new one in there, but sometimes we'll throw in a second one or even a third one, depending on, if he's written for Inc.com or Forbes.com. Sometimes we'll throw those in here as well that you can adjust. But again, all of these are brandable, editable. If you want to add your own data to this, so maybe you want to add more local data to it, you can. Really, you can do whatever you want with these, and they're great for newsletters, blog posts, social media posts. If you have any outside marketing that you like to do, because we do have advisors that have, Constant Contact or MailChimp or those kind of things that they use for outside marketing, you can pull all of these articles and utilize them for that. So that way you're not taking the time to create all this brand new content from scratch. And all of it is geared to be very informational and educational for business owners. It's not sales pitchy, but it is designed to get their wheels turning, so they are curious about finding out their own value builder score or pre-score or what have you. So planting those little seeds, if you will. And again, we've done our best to sort of divide them up into the type of category or the topic of category. So that saves you from sifting through pages and pages and pages of stuff if you're looking for something particular. Logos and graphics, that's going to be logos and graphics that you can add to your website or to, again, social media, emails, etc. So some little widgets here that you can add to things that are visually appealing to business owners, and some give a little bit of information as well. Videos, another really popular tab. We have a bunch of videos that we've created in here. All of them are very short. I think the longest one may be like 6.5 minutes, all designed for those busy business owners with short attention spans, in mind, our own fearless leader included. Get to the point quickly. So there's videos in here for PreScore, for Value Builder. There's one for the automatic customer, engagement explainer videos. There's all kinds in here, and they can be embedded right into your website, or you can have a link and send them towards the website to click on that link, whatever is going to work best for you. Add it to an email, add it to a newsletter, etc. Brochures. So the way of real mailouts still exist. Lots of people are still sending out paper copies of things. So we have created some brochures that can be utilized for those mailouts. If you're attending a conference and you want to have a stack of brochures to let people know, what Value Builder is and how it can, work for them, etc. There's a few brochures in here that you can take advantage of, and you can also use them to email them out too. Just because they're a paper brochure doesn't mean that you have to exclusively download them and print them off. You can save those trees if you want. And then lastly, we have our template section. And that's really what I call our miscellaneous catch-all. There is a bunch of stuff in here. There are PreScore one-pagers. There's a sample assessment agreement, a sample engagement agreement if you don't want to create your own from scratch. There's a hard copy of the Value Builder questionnaire, and you'd be surprised how many people have utilized the hard copy. Great for conferences when you don't know what kind of internet connection you're going to get. Introductions to Value Builder. There's some sample emails and Twitter posts and things like that on here. Another popular one is the feedback form. How are you doing with your business owners? Find out your own NPS score. So you can utilize that one. And you can also use the one, a lot of advisors do put their own practices through the Value Builder engagement, and there are NPS scores that you can send out to your own business owners in there as well if you don't want to utilize this one. Penguin bulk order books. This one is another popular one. We don't own the rights to Build to Sell and the automatic customer anymore. John is basically published by them. So we don't set the prices or anything like that, but they've been lovely enough to give us a link and some contact people. So if you do want to buy an order of them, you of course don't want to pay full price, so you get 50% off the regular price of those books, and they're great to hand out to your business owners that are signing up for engagements, whether it's the built to sell one or the automatic customer. So that's in here as well. Yeah, so some pre-meeting request templates, just a mix all of things in here. And of course, as we go through our training, we'll go through them a little bit more in detail. Last tab is the contacts tab. And this is really where all of the main information on your contact is going to be housed. So from here, you can add contacts individually, or if you have a list of business owners that you want to import into the system, you can do that as well. We don't force you to type individually every person's name. You do have to have it in a CSV file, but that's pretty quick and easy to convert if you have them in an Excel spreadsheet. From here, you would click on the contact to find out all the information about that contact. So along the left-hand side, you have basically their email, their company names. There is a note section, but I don't really know of too many people that really utilize that. It does have CRM qualities, but we are not a full CRM. So I think, folks will keep notes on other places, but it is there if you want to use it. When somebody completes a pre-score or a value builder score, their scores will upload here. As you can see, I've got a 46 sitting under there on the pre-score, and then the downloadable report that you can utilize to review with them. Although we haven't gone through it, it will be part of your training once you sit down with me, but there is some workflow that you can set up for pre-score where we'll actually help you with a couple of the email follow-ups. So, we know that time is very important, and you don't always have time to drop everything that you're doing and get those emails out when somebody has completed a pre-score questionnaire. So we wanted to help with that. So more detail on that. Just know that you have it available. Inviting folks to complete pre-score. Now, you will have access to an embed code for your website, a personal code that you can use on social media and outside emails and all of that. There will be your personal links in your nurture cycle, automated drip campaigns, all of that good stuff. But we also give you a way that you can email straight from the system if you want and invite those folks to complete questionnaires. So there's one for pre-score, and there's also one for value builder score. And we will go through those of course, in more detail when we do the training, but I just wanted to let you know that they're available. Under Value Builder Score, you have a little bit more bells and whistles because it is really the meat and potato portion of the system. Here, of course, you have the score again. You have a drop-down menu also that if they've completed previous Value Builder questionnaires, you'll be able to go in and pull the data on those. It'll always have the most recent one at the top. I don't think I have any underneath, no. But if I had previous ones, it would give me the list of ones I had completed, and then I could choose the one that I wanted to take a look at. Because sometimes it's nice, especially if you've worked with someone for 6 months to a year, and maybe you want to compare what changes have happened over that 6 months to a year. You have access to the old questionnaires. You can view answers. You can download the answers. This one right here is an important one. You can edit answers. Everybody has their own mindset when they're sitting down to do a questionnaire. And even though the system is designed to be simple and easy for business owners to do, sometimes just the way in which a question is worded makes them think something different than it really is. So this gives you the option to pop in there with the business owner, or if you want to send it back to them to edit themselves, you can, although I think 99% of advisors will sit down and make the changes. But it gives you the opportunity to pop back into their questionnaire to the area that you need to adjust, and then adjust it, rerun the questionnaire, and might potentially change their score, or it may not, depending on how many adjustments that you do make. But that saves you from doing a whole other questionnaire over again, because nobody wants to take that kind of time. Edit customized report. That is something new that's coming down the line. So that will be part of training. That's a secret. But it just goes to show you that we're constantly improving things in the system, and we always have something new and or an enhancement or a tweak or something that we're doing every single quarter. And this is the one coming up for this quarter. These are your downloadables under here. So these are what you can review with business owners. And of course, I would dive into these a little bit more during the training. But just as a high level overview, you get a PowerPoint assessment that you can review with business owners and give them some actionable items and review their questions and what they answered, what the optimal answer should have been. The Value Builder Score report is a 27-page report that's auto-generated by the system, so no need for you to do anything to this report, whereas with the assessment you can add your own action items and recommendations. This one comes as is, but the system actually gives some actionable items, tells them why they scored what they did, etc. And you have the choice to give just the plain report, or if they have completed the estimate of value questions and an evaluation has populated and you want to share it with them, you can choose to download the one that includes the estimate of value. And it gives them a range of what their business is valued at right now. Summary page, this one is a perfect kind of follow-up if you had someone that's a little bit tricky and trying to get them to meet with you after they've completed a questionnaire. All it does is gives you the overall score, so here a 55, and then it breaks down each of the 8 drivers and scores them individually. So visually, they can see right away which drivers they're doing really well on, which ones they may not be doing so well on. So it gives them a little bit more information. But again, at the end of the day, really, what do these numbers mean to them? They still need to speak with you to find out the deeper detail behind that. So it's a nice little extra teaser when you've been having some trouble getting them to connect with you. And then the exit timer is the last one. This one is great for really highlighting for business owners when they should be working on their exit strategies, really now. Doesn't matter when they're going to exit. 20, 30 years now is the answer. But this really narrows it down even further, because a couple of the questions on the questionnaire will ask them, how old they are, what age they're looking to step down from their business, whether it's sale, whether it's passing to a family member, etc. And based on those answers, it will give them a timeline on when they should be thinking about their exit, when they really should put their pedal to the metal and really be doing something about it, within a few years of exit. So it really shows them visually what that looks like. And that can be so important for some business owners, because 20 years sounds like a long way away, but it's not. And this will show them that. And as I mentioned, you can invite folks to get a Value Builder score from the system here as well. Up at the top, I'm going to just quickly go through some other tabs that you have access to. So the main one is, of course, the Value Builder Score tab. But then we have the Scenario Planning tab. And that's a tool to really show the correlation of working on those drivers and moving those dials and increasing that value. And then it also shows how that valuation is going to move. So if they're currently, say, a $5 million company and you're going to work with them for a year and move some of these drivers, their incremental value could show that within that year, you're going to be able to help them find, maybe $500,000 worth of revenue for their business or value for their business. So that also creates some return on investment. So working with you at least a minimum of a year and an engagement is going to show what they're going to get at the end of that. And even though it's not set in stone, you haven't set up any action items or anything like that yet, just showing what that could look like is very powerful for business owners. And so it's also a little bit of a sales tool for you to get them over the line to sign up for those longer engagements where you're going to see that recurring revenue yourself and capturing that fees. Value Builder Engagement Program, this is where you would connect into the Value Builder engagement for this particular individual and their company and go through those 12 modules with them. So you have a version that you see, and I'll just quickly pop in and show you what that looks like. So here are the modules. Now these are all rearrangeable, so you don't necessarily have to do them in the order that we created them. Maybe it makes sense between you and the business owner that we need to rearrange them, and they want to get to their biggest challenges first, and we don't want it to seem like a cookie cutter tool for you. We want it to seem like it's customizable at least as much as possible, so you're able to rearrange those modules, and we have some tools built in that will help you with that as well, which we dive into during training. And just to give you just a quick peek into what the business owner sees, it looks very much like this, although, pardon the branding and all of that, because, mine's just kind of place holding, other than the Value Builder system branding. Your branding, of course, would be showing up here in your name and your not VBS test, but your client's name and their company and all of that. But here on the left-hand side, it shows you the modules, and then you're able to click on each one of these modules and enter that module with the business owner. You have the master view, so you see both all what I'm showing you today, including this. The business owner just sees this, so they get their own logins and passwords, and they only see this portion. And even these modules here, those are controlled by you. So if you want to close up all the other modules so they can only work on the one that you're currently working on and not get ahead of themselves, then you can do that. So you really do have control, but they can also sign in on their own and do some homework. And so not all of your time needs to be completely connected for them to complete these modules. And there's also, a goal section, and within that goal section, there's a vision builder. So all kinds of things that are built in here to help you with setting up those goals. Answering the vision builder is perfect for really getting to the root of what they want to work on for that year. Annual goals, monthly goals, strategies built in with action items. And we even have another action items tab as well. So as you go through the modules, they will ask you to set up action items. And you can always pop into the previous module, but it'll also kind of parcel it out in order in the action items tab as well. So you can see all the modules that I've been playing around in and that I've got some action items set up. So that way, if you do want to take an overall look at all the action items that you have set up for the year, you can see that here instead of clicking on every single one of these to make it more simple for you. Of course, more to come on that as part of your training as well. We deep dive into, how to set these up, how to rearrange them, all of that good stuff. So more to come in your training with that. But I did want you to have a quick peek into what you see. And then lastly, on the very last tab within a contact is your timeline. And this is really important for tracking all of the activities that the business owner is doing in here. So if you've got them on the nurture cycle, are they receiving those emails? Are they opening those emails? Are they clicking on the links? Have they completed a questionnaire? Are they signed up to an engagement module that they're working on? And as you can see, like I have a lot of activity in mind because I'm always showing people things, but it can get a little busy in here after a while. Like when you first start out, it's like, oh, this is easy to track and follow. But once folks get going, it does get a little busy. So there is a drop-down bar at the top here that you can choose what exactly that you're looking for and that you want to see. So if I, for example, I want to see those nurture cycle emails, I want to see if they're getting them, are they opening them, how involved are they clicking on them. So now that I've chosen that, I can see all the nurture cycle emails, the dates that they went out. I can show that they've been sent, that they've been opened. I probably do have some later ones that show me clicking on them, but because these ones all come to me, I haven't been clicking on all of them. When the nurture cycle was activated, if you ever deactivated it for any reason, all of that is tracked in here. And each ability or activity that they do has a points associated to it. And if you want to see how those points are associated and calculated, there's a little question mark here next to total activity points. And if you click on that, it's going to open up this window for you, and it's going to show you what each one of them mean and how many points they're going to get. So obviously when they're doing big things like completing questionnaires, doing things in the engagement system, all of that is going to give you much, much larger points if they've completed a pre-score. But it's still nice to track everything as a whole, because then we calculate everything up. And as you can see under this particular one, I've got 695 total activity points. So that gives me a pretty good indication that this business owner is interested in what I've been sending. So whether or not they've signed up for an engagement or a questionnaire, completed a questionnaire, if they've just been opening those nurture cycle emails and all of that, then I know that they're interested in the content. They haven't unsubscribed. They're clicking on things. So they're at least reading them, or at least briefly reading them. So this is great for when you're looking to do some outreach as part of your business development. Again, on your dashboard, you're always going to see the top 10, but maybe you want to reach out to the top 20. Then you can utilize these points and know that these are your most active ones and do your reach out. And whether you do a reach out through here or through your own email is entirely up to yourself. But it's a great way to kind of start, especially at the first of every week or what have you, catch up with everyone. And that's basically it. I mean, there's a lot more stuff in here, but I did just want to kind of give you the basics. You know, you will learn all the ins and outs, and I know it seems like a lot, but it will become old hat very soon once you go through your training. And that's what I'm here for too, is to offer the training and answer questions and help you navigate through all of this. Anything to add, Roger? I know I've sort of monopolized the conversation.
That was great having Michelle actually share with us a number of those insights related to the interface for value builders. This is one of the things that I've very much appreciated, and I'm happy to just share some quick final thoughts. Basically, Michelle took us through each of these things that are related to the program, the dashboard, the events, the learning center, the marketing assets. But lastly, this contacts area is something I'd like to just emphasize. The thing that I have really appreciated as a value builder provider is working with these leads that I've generated and then the contacts that I have as engagements, is I have this system I can follow, a process that I can subscribe to and use as I'm working with the clients and be confident that they're benefiting from it. So as she was going through this scenario planning, the value builder engagement, the last thing I just wanted to point out is the timeline. And what I would essentially do is I'll add, when I meet with the clients, this event to document when it is I've met with them, with some brief notes here of what we discussed in that engagement session. And then in doing so, it actually appears here. And what's beautiful for this is it documents what it is they are doing as they're working with me in the engagement. And so it's kind of a history of what's happening. And the other part of it is this complements well the action items that we're each doing. The other thing I wanted to share is with the action items, when you go into the engagement, one of the things that I do is I actually assign myself in the engagement. So I'll come down here just to kind of jump into it. I assign myself things that are in the action engagements for myself. So it's not just assigning things to individuals within the company or the owner that I'm working with that they're leaving with to-do items, but I'm also assigning myself things that I then will actually do, because in these action items, one of the things that I may end up with is something that I need to do before our next discussion, or I need to take care of to prepare for my next meeting. And so I'll actually end up with each of my clients' action items to follow through with. The best thing I'd like to just end with here is the fact that all of these tools and resources are available to you following the training you receive to become a value builder provider. And with Michelle's help as your coach, you're going to become very familiar with and acquainted with these, such that you're going to be able to use them confidently to more effectively coach and advise your clients. I can't say enough about the fact that with this program and training, you're going to be able to confidently offer and provide quality engagement services that you can be happily paid for. And that's one of the things that Value Builder actually provides us as providers, this a key ability to do. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to your coach. when working with Michelle, feel free to get her inputs and suggestions as to best practices. And lastly, finish the training and become a certified value builder provider. I look forward to meeting you at some of the live events, at the next conference, and most importantly, wish you the best of success as a value builder provider working with your clients. Always remember this: if it's about accounting, it is universal. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful day.